Hey folks, this is Kalani. Professions can be a little complicated in the War Within. There are a lot of moving pieces, but one of the most important parts you need to understand is profession knowledge. This is what allows you to specialize into the various profession trees, and it's how you can unlock the ability to craft the best recipes at the highest ranks. You can also get a lot of knowledge very quickly, allowing you to craft some great gear for yourself, or maybe even make a boatload of gold. So let's go over the fastest ways to get profession knowledge, how much you can get every week, and how you can get 90 profession knowledge points right away to kickstart your crafting adventures. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. Let's start with the one-time sources of knowledge first, because you can get all of this done very quickly and it will give you the most knowledge for your time spent. The first major source of knowledge is going to come from your first time craft bonuses. This is super simple. The first time you craft any recipe you have in your profession window, you'll get a first craft bonus, which includes 1 profession knowledge. So you'll want to craft everything you have learned at least once just to get that knowledge point. You can filter for the recipes you haven't made yet by going up to Filter and selecting First Craft Bonus. That will show you everything you have yet to craft, so you can get all of that squared away and earn all of the knowledge you can. It's important to note that every new recipe you learn, whether it's from the trainer, your specialization unlocks, or from a recipe purchased from a vendor, all of the recipes count here, so whenever you learn something new, be sure to try and get it crafted at least once. Now another huge source of one-time profession knowledge are going to be the profession treasures. There are 2 treasures in each zone for each profession, and each one will give you 3 knowledge points. So that is a very quick and easy 24 knowledge points just for running around each zone and finding your profession treasures. While they are usually quite obvious and various rare scanner style add-ons will pick them up for you, I would recommend installing the Handy Notes and the Handy Notes War Within add-ons. This add-on will mark the treasure locations on your map for each zone, so you can just pop on over to the location, pick up all of your treasures and put that knowledge to good use. You can also get a lot of profession knowledge from the Artisans Consortium vendors in Donegal. This vendor is in the same building as the crafting order clerks. There are 3 items you can purchase here for each profession. Each item will give you 10 profession knowledge when used. They are quite expensive though, and they increase in price for each item. So one is 200 Artisan Acuity, one of them is 300, and then the last one is 400. That is a lot of Artisans Acuity, which is going to be very important in high-level crafts and profession tools especially, so that's definitely not cheap, but the profession knowledge will be worth it if you're trying to specialize and reach those rank 5 crafts. If you're not sure where Artisans Acuity comes from, you're going to get about 5 Artisans Acuity from a lot of profession knowledge points that you get. So most of the time when you get 1 knowledge point, you will also be getting 5 Artisans Acuity. There are a couple of exceptions, but earning knowledge will also be fueling your Artisans Acuity stores. Now because these books give you 10 knowledge, they will also give you 50 Artisans Acuity, so their actual cost is 50 less than what you have to pay, because you're always going to get 50 back. Just something to keep in mind. If you haven't already completed it, there is also a very quick and easy quest in this same building. It just asks you to talk to the crafting order clerk, and it will reward you with a bag of profession materials, so you can get some useful stuff for free, but it's also going to give you 350 Artisans Acuity, which will let you buy your first book and give you a good chunk towards the next one. There's actually another profession knowledge book that you may not know about, but it offers yet another 10 knowledge for a very low price. Down in Ashkahet in the City of Threads, you can find a profession trainer and vendor for each profession. These vendors will sell a profession knowledge book for a little bit of the Kedge currency. This currency is a bit weird. There are a few ways to farm it, like killing rares or doing world quests, but if you've done the story quests down here, you should have some Renown rewards ready to pick up. One of those rewards is a good amount of Kedge currency, so that will immediately cover your currency needs for the profession knowledge at least. The Call of the World Soul weekly quest in Donegal also rewards you with a good amount of Kedge when completed, so getting that weekly done will help out as well. This currency is also warband transferable, so you can trade it across your alts if you need to move it to a specific character. So go down there, grab your other book, and that's another 10 knowledge you can spend. You can also pick up even more profession knowledge books from the Renown track rewards. You want to double check which reputations offer knowledge for which professions, because they are different, so if you want to focus on one specifically, you're going to want to make sure you're farming the right reputation, and they're usually found at Renown level 12 or thereabouts. So you do need to do a bit of rep farming, but honestly it's not too bad this time around. If you're taking part in the weekly content, you'll get there in no time. The great news is that because Renown is account-wide this time, you only have to do the rep grinds once. As soon as you hit the required Renown, every character or crafter that you have can go grab those books. You don't have to farm it on each individual character like you did in Dragonflight, so that's an amazing change. So that's most of the big one-time unlocks you can grab, but what about the more repeatable sources? Well, we have a whole bunch of weekly activities that reward you with even more profession knowledge, starting with the NPC crafting orders. These can be found in the crafting order menu at the bottom left of your profession window. They can only be viewed while you are near a profession table, so make sure you're in Dornagal next to your table before trying to see what orders are available. NPC orders can be found under the Patron tab. You're going to get quite a few of these every week. The exact amount changes depending on your profession, so some will see more than others. These are also specific to your character, so you don't have to worry about anyone else stealing them. The orders themselves are quite simple. They work exactly like a personal work order. You can see what the requested items are, how much commission they're offering, and how many reagents they're going to provide. If you hover over the little chest icon, you can also see the rewards you're going to obtain by fulfilling these orders. The two main rewards are items that provide profession knowledge, so focusing on those orders will help you earn knowledge faster. And then the other major reward that you're going to look for is Artisans Acuity. You can get a lot of acuity from these NPC work orders, so make sure you're looking through the various rewards and prioritizing the knowledge and acuity orders. You do have to be a bit careful with these though, because a lot of the orders don't provide all of the materials, and pretty much all of the commission offerings are pitiful. They aren't really worth taking into consideration. Some of the materials you'll be using are extremely expensive, especially right at the start of the expansion, so keep an eye on what they are providing and what you will have to use, because some of these orders can cost you thousands of gold to fulfill, and you're only going to get 60 gold back from that commission. Quite a lot of the orders also ask you to create or craft high-tier items or expensive recipes, which can actually be difficult to do unless you're super maxed out in your crafting already. And then even if you do have the recipe, sometimes they ask for a rank or a quality that is very difficult to obtain, even if you're specializing towards that type of gear. It's kinda crazy. I've run into quite a few cases where I just cannot complete an order right now. But it is important to note that while some of the orders may be quite expensive, these NPC work orders also give you a chance to craft items that may be too prohibitive or expensive for you to craft otherwise. For example, all the epic recipes provide a spark, something you yourself couldn't do because the sparks are limited. Any recipe that requires a lot of Artisans Acuity should provide that as well, and some recipes do provide quite a lot of the expensive materials, so this gives you a chance to get your first craft bonus for some of those higher tier or expensive crafts without having to spend quite as many materials yourself. It's not quite as good as a player providing everything for you, but at least you don't have to bark in trade chat to get something done. Another important thing to note is that these work orders do have expiration timers, but don't worry, if you don't complete them in time, especially the profession knowledge ones, you should get more NPC work orders the next week, offering you a chance to catch back up. So don't feel bad if you can't complete an order, or if you don't think it's worth the gold investment. You will have a chance to get that profession knowledge in a future week. Now, gatherers don't have crafting orders, so they rely on something else for their main weekly knowledge point. Whenever you gather a node, or skin a creature, or disenchant an item, you have a chance to get an item that provides you with some profession knowledge. It's that simple. Do the gathering that your profession is supposed to be doing, and you'll get your weekly profession knowledge pretty quickly. There are 6 items you can get each week, with one of them being a purple version, which provides a bit more knowledge, but as long as you are gathering, you will get the knowledge points passively. Each profession will also have a weekly quest they can complete for even more knowledge. Crafters will have a quest in the crafting order clerk building that asks them to complete a few crafting orders, so that's going to be even easier with the NPC orders counting towards this. But if you are struggling to get these work orders completed, you can always send a very cheap work order from your alts to your main character as a personal order and use those to meet the requirements. So whether you're doing actual orders, NPC orders, or just orders to yourself, finishing this quest once per week should be quite easy. The gatherers and enchanters will have a different kind of quest that usually just asks for some raw materials, so hand those over and you'll get your weekly profession knowledge. You can also get one profession knowledge every week by using your profession's Treatise book. These are crafted by players with inscription, so if you don't have the profession yourself, you're going to need to make a crafting order for them. The required materials are quite simple, thankfully, and there are only a few of them, though they can be a bit expensive right now. You can use one of these books every single week per profession you have, so if you can afford it, that's one more profession knowledge you can get on a weekly basis. And then you can also pick up 2 profession knowledge items from the random treasures scattered around the Kaz Algar zones. This includes the small treasures that respawn constantly, as well as the disturbed dirt that you can go digging in for that random encounter. How much knowledge you get from these 2 items will depend on your profession, but every profession can get 2 items from treasures every week. I would recommend using an add-on like Rare Scanner to find the treasures a bit faster. Now I know this can be a lot to keep track of, especially if you're trying to juggle multiple characters and crafters. Thankfully there are some add-ons or tools you can use to help collect the one-time sources, as well as keep up with the weekly activities. First, I would recommend you pick up the Handy Notes add-on. This is the one that will put little markers on your map for where the profession treasures can be found, and honestly, it's a great all-around add-on for locating anything on your map, and it's always kept up to date, so as the patches roll by, it will just keep being useful. There's also a profession-specific add-on called Weekly Knowledge, which gives you a checklist of all of the various sources of weekly knowledge across all of your characters and their professions, so you can quickly see who hasn't gotten all of the one-time or unique sources, and which characters you still need to do the weekly stuff on, like quests, treasures, or the Treatise books. And then there's also this week aura that's been floating around and highly recommended. This one is really cool because not only does it list which knowledge items that you're missing, but if you click on them, it actually tracks their location for you as well. This is great for the treasures if you don't want to install Handy Notes, and it helps you keep track of what you've done in the week. I'll leave links to all 3 of these in the description below, so be sure to check those out if you're struggling to keep up with all of the knowledge sources. With everything totaled up, you should be able to get at least 90 profession knowledge points pretty quickly, and that's without really taking into account the first craft stuff, because that will vary quite widely depending on your profession and how you decide to specialize. This character specifically also doesn't have the Renown book and doesn't have the most expensive Artisans Acuity book, so you could get 20 points on top of that. This is more than enough knowledge to start ramping up whatever you want to focus in on. If you want to make the best materials, or max rank daggers, or cloth shoulders. You won't be able to get everything at rank 5 just yet, but you should be able to get a few guaranteed rank 5 crafts with this big kickstart of knowledge. Remember to keep up with your NPC work orders, prioritizing the ones that reward you with knowledge, and you'll be able to keep pace with the best crafters out there. But that's how you can get a huge chunk of profession knowledge right away, and how to obtain it in general, so that's it for this video. What are you going to be working on with your professions this time around, or are you mostly just ignoring them and relying on the auction house and crafting orders? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can find links in the description or click the join button just below the video. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful in any way, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're always kept up to date. Thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.